What's up, everybody? This is Chieftain, and I'm back with the one and only hero and Blacklight Oni, and you're watching Laggin Out.
Today's topic, we're talking about the state of, or the lack thereof, DC, specifically in their cinematic universe that is trying to copy the success of Marvel. Actually, as I hear tell, I'm sure we'll have another topic on it another day. State of DC Comics right now is actually doing spectacularly, which is a surprise because they've been on the chopping block for Warner Media to be axed for a very long time. But again, video for another day because we're talking about the cinematic universe. We're talking about...
Does cinematic universe count like as the TV universe as well? Or is those two separate things?
The cinematic theatrical universe is separate from the CW cinematic universe. I don't know what that licensing has to do with anything, but I know that Zack Snyder... he's got his own expanded universe vision for all the theatrical releases. Well,
yeah, I don't.
It's not really much.
It's like I was all. Go ahead. Go ahead, Oni.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
ahead,
not
Oni.
as integrated as the Marvel universe, where most of their TV shows align with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. X-Men are still kind of on the outskirts. They were never really integrated into the Cinematic Universe.
I really wish they would add them.
Except
They are
for
talking
Pietro
about doing
with that cameo that one time.
Right.
But aside from that, X-Men has always been seen as separate.
Well, again,
Yeah, but that Pietro, I think, is a figment of imagination. I don't think he's real. You're referring to the WandaVision episode as far as that correlates with the cinematic universe. But I can see how like everything else correlates with there. But I don't know. That's just my theory, Oni.
on that note, I will interject that I've been seeing signs that Marvel is actually working towards in the next phase is bringing X-Men into it, but it's not going to be the X-Men as has been past because they clearly sacrificed the whole Phoenix movie to Endgame when they launched at the same time. Well, beforehand, Phoenix just flopped horribly. But we're getting off topic.
as far as like the DC is concerned, they're completely separate.
As far as everyone is aware of, yeah. Now the TV series are all interconnected, but movies are separate plane of existence.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like how they do that. I want the same character to play Superman in the movies than he does in Superman and Lois, which is I'm really excited about.
I've been seeing a lot. And I mean a lot of excitement for it because when they did the pilot for Superman and Lois, I've seen nothing but glowing reviews and people having hot flashes over it.
My mom called me about this, and she's not a superhero. It's like, did you hear about Superman and Lois? This is amazing. I'm like, really? Who's doing it? It's like the WB. I'm like, oh God. It's like it's gonna be like a Supergirl abortion type of thing. It's gonna like start off really good and then it's gonna like dissipate. And I'm like, I watched it and I was just like,
I am the master of the clit.
Holy shit. I'm like, this is movie quality stuff.
Oh, yes.
And the story was good. Hero, they took their time with their shots. They look nice. The story is relatable. Yeah, Superman is a superhero, but they made it relatable. They made Superman a family man.
That is
with
such
like twin
a
boys with like
difficult
real
thing to
problems.
That is beautiful in my eyes because let's be honest, CW, WB, whoever they are now, they were phenomenal. What is it? 8 to 10 years ago.
Right.
Freaking Smallville. Like I would love to see them continue to present day Superman doing callbacks and hailbacks to Smallville with Superman as a teenager. I would love to see something like that.
Well, in the pilot, they did some callbacks on when his father died, but they didn't use the same character for it.
I mean,
like
that
the young
dude's
Superman
10
had
years older
longer
now,
hair.
15,
You know, he's
20
crying.
years older now, so
Right, but I mean, come on, they did this. Like, to get back to Marvel, they kind of did the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. It made him look like he was younger in like a hologram thing.
Right.
It's doable if they're able to make Superman do that superhero pose in space and like lasers and like shit blowing up. The stuff was, I would say, almost cinematic movie quality.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that, but yeah, I can understand like they might do some flashbacks, but their callback on Smallville is a little bit different than the show Smallville itself 10 years prior.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? But now they can do some crossover stuff and flashbacks. They've done that before.
yeah. I mean,
But there's a lot of characters like in the WB like television universe that I don't even know about. Like I see Stargirl, I'm like, oh, is that Captain America's daughter or some
Nope.
shit? Like
Nope.
I know it's not. I know it's not. But that's what she looks like. But I'm like, they're going through all the like for me like. I'm a casual kind of comics person. I'm not like hardcore, so I don't know who half the fucking staff is. And like with Titans, Titans is not on WB, right? What's Titans on?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. So Titans, I understand from like the original Teen Titans TV show. I understand the characters from there. I understand they're on the West Coast. They live in a giant T. I understand that kind of. But then like I've seen some clips of it with Nightwing or Robin. And it's very dark, and it's very its own show. I can see that actually moving to WB, but yeah, it's like crazy how everything kind of like DC is just like all over the fucking place. It's just ridiculous.
I understand wanting to make things a little more dark, grungify things. I get it. But
Yeah,
especially now, don't flame me in the comments. The 3 fans we've got.
If we
I
get
love
any.
every one of you. You guys are great. I haven't really caught up with Titans. TV shows, movies are a very difficult thing for me to watch. I'm more of a let's make the thing, not the let's sit down and watch the thing. The first season of Titans was definitely world building, and I definitely had some critiques about some of the costume designs, not about the actors or actresses. As far as I'm aware of, they're all wonderful people and great at their jobs. But world building is definitely a tricky thing. And from what I heard about the Justice League movie, they tried to also make it really dark, and then they kind of lost the plot a little bit too.
yeah.
So
there's plenty to be said about that. Just
Yeah.
fair
No
One can be darker than a Dark Knight.
So DC tries to make a more serious, less upbeat version. They try to make things more nitty-gritty. But at the same time, the way they approach it is a little bit of a hodgepodge of things. Whereas Marvel and Disney, I should say, has carefully planned these movies and TV shows many years in advance. I mean, we have to remember the first Iron Man movie was like 2007, 2008. That's
So
how...
Right.
the whole
So they
whole
planned it. But they didn't expect it to go that far.
No.
They didn't expect Infinity
you had
War, I
Robert
don't
Downey
think,
Jr.
but they
John
definitely
Favreau
planned
was
for
the
an
one
Avengers
that
movie.
ran it. John Favreau was the one that ran it in the beginning. His vision was adopted by
You said vision.
his vision of the direction that these movies were going to take. His vision of it, literally an expanded universe, was adopted by the Feiges, and they took on the idea when Kevin Feige took over production of which one, I don't remember which Iron Man it was, and he was the one that ran with the whole idea and just exploded the whole universe all over the place. Giggity.
It had to have been by the first
Damn
one
it.
because, with all due respect, they had Iron Man cameo in the Incredible Hulk movie at the very end, where he basically takes a shit on General Ross, which is great.
But the whole thing with like this expanded universe thing, Zack Snyder is the one that's running with the ball for the whole expanded universe for DC. I'm not a big DC fan when it comes to their movies outside of Batman because
Why aren't you? Why don't you like the Batman? Why don't you like Wonder Woman?
Swear to me.
Are you a sexist?
Oh my
You're a
lord.
sexist.
It's
What?
just
How dare you?
We're gonna
Oh,
talk
right, exactly.
over that one.
All right, your time's up.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Oni, so what do you think about the new costumes and the new season of Titan?
Oh yeah, no,
Titans.
it looks fucking cool.
Which one specifically were you talking about? Or all of
Blackfire.
them?
I follow the costume illustrator on Instagram. Last season, they had just introduced Starfire's superhero costume, her legitimate superhero
Right.
costume. It looked so cool and was, in my opinion, a much better representation of who Starfire is as a character than the original costumes that all the characters were introduced with in the first season. Not because of what they were made with, what they were designed with, just in terms of the details that made these characters who they are. I understand that this is slightly different from the comic book continuity of Teen Titans, where Starfire, as far as I'm aware of, is not an alien from Tamaran, but her costume looks so cool. Yes, it's a skin-tight bodysuit, as you would expect from most superhero costumes today on the big screen, but it still had...
Men and women, respectively.
Oh, yeah. But it had those metal-like, because obviously they're probably not real metal, details, gems, purple in it. It has a little bit of fire element in there to really kind of make it pop a little bit, a little reference to her abilities. Now with Blackfire, they definitely are hearkening back to those of us who are familiar with comics, are familiar with Teen Titans, the animated series from the early 2000s. Definitely went dark with her. Definitely went with that
Right.
more body armor on hers. It looks evil as hell, and I love it. Blackfire's a bitch.
Yeah.
And you get
Don't
that
hold
from
back.
hers. And I'm like, yes, this is what I live for.
Yes. Awesome. So what do you guys think of that costume? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe at the links below.
That's right. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and bang that bell for more entertainment from Chieftain.
And you guys.
And remember, this is Hero. We're signing off and lagging out.
He said it this time.